the biggest challenge is the diversity of data we're seeing. So if you think about the kind of ages of data, when I started in this business with MongoDB, we were at what I'd call the kind of megabyte, gigabyte scale. 5 years later, we're at terabytes, and these days, it's not unusual for a company to have a petabyte of data that it's running its business on. Now, most companies don't realize they have a petabyte of data because it's splattered all over the place. And so the big challenge for businesses going forward is, first of all, to understand where their data is, and second of all, to aggregate it in some meaningful way. That, for me, is one of the challenges that every company here is trying to solve. You can look at some of our customers, for instance, who are totally on top of their game. They've taken the right governance decisions, they've organized their data, they're using cloud properly. And then at the other end of the scale, you've got people who are still catching up, and it's the classic adoption curve. The revolutionaries and evolutionaries are doing a great job. The laggards are still wondering why they can't work out where all their systems and data is. And if you see, I was just talking to a customer earlier on today, they aggregate together 20 logistics businesses. Now those 20 logistics businesses have each built their own IT stack, their own data storage. Now that's a horrendous problem. The software estate there alone runs to probably $100 million. And so upgrading that and integrating it is going to be a huge job. And to be honest, there's very few companies can help with that because there are organizational issues that overlay most of the data challenges. And I think if you just try to look at pure data, it's going to be really tricky to solve those problems. We have to get in at the organizational level. Traditionally in MongoDB, we first look at the organization and the business challenges it faces before we ever look at the data problems. We're a big data company, one of the first. We've been around since 2007. So the starting point of MongoDB was developers need flexible data. Changing the schema on a relational database is a freaking nightmare, to be honest. And so the first departure was we're going to use JSON as our coin of the realm. JSON encoded in binary format inside the database. That JSON allows you to change the schema on the fly. The second thing that MongoDB realized is the businesses are going to have to operate at scale. Remember, this is back in 2007. And so we needed to build a scalable database, and for a scalable database, we needed a distributed database. So the departure point from MongoDB in 2009, when the first version launched, was JSON as the coin of the realm and distribution. And we've been on a journey ever since to add in all of the core features relational database users love. And we kind of finished that job about 4 years ago when we finally added ACID transactions. That was kind of the crown jewel that people used to tell us, I can't use your database because it doesn't have ACID transactions. Well, now we have ACID transactions. The funny thing is, if you operate at scale, you almost never use ACID transactions. So everybody who gets it tends to throw it away, but it does help you to model the right way to build your applications. So as long as you understand how it operates in the small with ACID transactions, when you take them away, you can understand the semantics at scale. This is why it's still an important facet for a lot of developers. So we've been here, Big Data London, for the last 2 days. Nothing but hot leads all day. Honestly, it's been phenomenal. We've been incredibly busy. I can tell you right now, this is going to generate substantial revenue opportunities for us this year.